Shalom, all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem HaRakah the bonus of the apostles and elders, a great most honorable well, and Shalom to all the brothers doing the work of serene truth. Got this article here on, the mad scientist, the lunatic himself, Esau Edom, the so-called white man, where he's basically trying again to essentially try and be like the Most High, man. He's trying to establish himself able to have, power over things that, he doesn't fully understand or, would bring about legendary levels of destruction, man. Because you got this on the Daily Stars as well. Scientists grow male genitals in lab, and there are fears it could make blokes obsolete. It says male fertility is in crisis, and unless we do something about it, the human race is going to be a total mess. One expert has warned following the news of the creation. Yeah, boffinses or boffinesses, fucking hell, have created tiny testicles in a lab, sparking fears it could make men redundant in future. Dr. Nitzan Gonen, an Israeli scientist, has produced the genitals from cells extracted from mice that she has said she hopes to be able to produce human versions within 5 years that could produce sperm. So yeah, this is the level of insanity we're dealing with. And it's ironic as well, because you got Amalek up in the mix doing it. Where it's then you think these people, these are meant to be chosen, like the Most High is meant to be dealing with them. Like, what on earth is gonna drive them to be going out and trying to go around, well, trying to put things that the Most High has established, try and be like, okay, now we're gonna go by our own way. We're gonna have it so, just like you have a fucking dildo, you just can produce. It's not gonna be a dick. It's gonna be an actual dick. You're gonna create from scratch in a lab an actual dick, and then have the shit squirt sperm, so women can be impregnating themselves without no do. What kind of madness is that? Why would you even be wanting to do that? Like, the process ain't even like it's not even something that needs any addition to. Like, man said reproduction is an act that, like, that shit just works. Even when people don't want it to work, the shit just works. And then even with that, it's like something that even brings pleasure. So it's like, for you to do it, it's not even like it's agonizing. But again, this is Esau. So it's the way he's addressing and approaching these things is with with madness involved. It's really about trying to be like the Most High. Because as Dr. Gonen, who heads a sex determination laboratory at Bar Ilan in Israel, said her goal is not to make men redundant in terms of reproduction, and just wants to help the global crisis in male fertility. Which, yeah, there's male fertility problems. A lot of it will come down to things like microplastics, the food people are eating, the level of pollution and destruction in the environments people live, the way people have to live in the modern age, man. Light pollution, other things, where you'll not get enough time in like a natural setting and whatnot. These things are all impacting, but then creating a fucking artificial cock and balls to fucking to and say it was shoots, but you're just gonna materialize a penis and a nutsack, and then just have it shoot out. Like, what? And then women will be like, okay, just take this, and then you go home, and then you impress. What the hell is that? Like, what the hell? Like, there's men out there, like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, why are you wasting your time on that bullshit? But these are the things that's worse. It's really being done just to be like, okay, look, we can outdo the Most High. We can have it where it's like, even all these decaying what's the term, fertility, we can subvert it. We can go around it. But that's the thing, is even with that fertility going down. It's a product of the realm we're in now. Because even with that, it's like, even if men were that's the thing, is it's like people ain't looking to have kids as well. The mindset is, that's where you got was it like South Korea and Japan, always the two. They'll put examples where they have aging populations where it's not at the current pace they're going. They're gonna be able to have enough kids to maintain themselves. And it's funny because like, this shit is like materializing a fucking penis from the abyss. Uh, from the abyss of hell to fucking for a woman to impregnate herself, when it's something where if people were to actually just have sex and have children, it would like the means are just there. Like I don't know what. Like what the fuck it is meant to achieve. So this is not definitely not. We need their chromosomes. We have to stick with them. The mama before said her work will help those men who can't produce sperm and can't father a child, rather than being used as a way to make babies without a man. Dr. Gonen used 5-day-old mice to produce a testicle organoid, a microscopic version of an organ. They added hormones and growth medium to try and replicate a testes environment, and was speechless with the results. In the future, Dr. Gonen plans to produce organoids using human samples. Her vision is to grow testes organoids from biopsies of children with cancer, and hopefully grow fertile sperm in vitro. So yeah, this is just a form of madness. I think it's like it's there's obviously the fertility issue is an issue, but then that's part of the function of being in this system, being in the ESOL system. This is a system where you're basically being ground to mill, and everyone on the lower rungs, the lower tiers of society, they're kind of left with they're given a bit of bread and circus, and they're kept on in the rat race, man, on the wheel, hamster wheel, grinding away till they hit whatever retirement age is. And all that entire lifestyle is basically where you and you used to have it where it would just be the dude, the father, doing that, and then you would have the children could be provided for, the wife could be provided for, you get a house, you could get a car, you could live to a certain extent. But now it's been on the level where it's like you getting a house, that shit ain't happening. Getting a car, you might get a car, but you paying that shit off for a hot minute, or you're paying exorbitant insurance and whatnot. And then to maintain yourself, those things are just not not as practical, not as feasible as they once were. So as such, then it's just like, yeah, people are all kind of fucked. Which fair. It's and for out here, like this place is hell on earth. But then this as far as a solution is complete madness. Like I don't know what the fuck like is this shit is meant to be doing for anyone. Like this shit makes no sense whatsoever. But again, that's as far as with ESOL, people that are in the system, they're wandering after the beast, man. These guys are marveling anything they say. Oh wow, you could be able to do that. Oh, crazy. I remember they were saying that shit years back with like artificial wombs, saying like, oh my, be able to grow a baby in like without a womb. I'm like, bro, you guys are insane, man. Like there's no just men. It's the same thing as Romans. It's women going against their function and whatnot. And the same thing with men going against their function. It's not just with sexualities and whatnot, but it's also just men and women need to get together and have kids. That's what's like, be fruitful and multiply, man. That's what men were meant to do. But again, Esau's against everything in the scriptures against truth, man. Funny as hell. But I read this. 2 Esdras 5 and 51, it says, he answered me and said, ask a woman that beareth children, and she shall tell thee. Say unto her, wherefore art thou art unto they whom thou hast now brought forth, like those that were before, but less of stature? And she shall answer thee, they that be born in the strength of youth are in one fashion, and they that are born in the time of age, when the womb faileth, are otherwise. So yeah, you have, those born in the youth, they have more strength. But then as you age up, as the womb, decays, the body decays over time, then there's less strength to be found. Consider thou therefore also how that ye are of less stature than those that were before you, and so they that come after you less than ye. Yeah. So even as, the men, in the ancient world, they're of a much greater stature and capability than the men now. There's been a continual, decay over time as far as, the strength of men. And then with, what was it, the strength of men? Oh yeah, it's just like as you had the statue where it was what, the head of gold. Babylon was that head of gold. Then as it went down, you went to less pure, like lower quality materials, to where you had iron for the Romans, and then the rebirth of the Roman Empire, the current rulership, Babylon the Great. And the beast system is what, the feet and 10 toes, where it's iron and miry clay. It's not even just metal, it's iron and clay. So you've had a decay in the quality of the empires as well, to where it's like you would have had a certain level of lifestyle, a certain level of quality within food, water, etc. All those things have decayed. And it's like now we're in a time where it's like, men, we're on our last legs out here, man. People are getting, it's like things like cancer, illnesses, all kind of, people being overweight, people having all kinds of health issues. That shit's been normalized. So called now, it's meant to be, the age of like medical miracles and marvels and whatnot, where it's like anything can be cured, anything. There's all these things that haunted humanity for so long, blah blah blah, and now just like, okay, no, we've mastered that, we've conquered it. That's not even, we don't even need to think about that. But lo and behold, and instead of that, that shit seems to have gone, completely out of the window. Lo and behold, now, what's the reality? People are even more decayed and destitute than they were before. It says what? So are they that come after you less than ye, as the creatures which now begin to be old and have passed over the strength of youth. Yeah. So it's all that decay is happening. But then what? It's as far as for us, we got the kingdom. The thing is really, everyone's got the kingdom coming, because the way life is now, this how long could this go on, man? Mark 13 and 19 says, for in those days shall be affliction such as was not since from the beginning of creation, which the Most High created unto this time, neither shall be. And except that the Lord had shortened those days, no flesh should be saved. But for the elect's sake, whom he hath chosen, he hath shortened the days. And yeah, except the days will be shortened, there will be no flesh left to be saved, no one would survive. And that's the way you can see how things are going. The level of destruction being done, just to nature, to the environment, to the animals and whatnot. That's on one level, but then on people as well. Like psychologically, people are being completely ground to dust, man. The spiritually just being completely ground to powder, man. The things that now people are like normalizing, the self-destructive lifestyles, are insane. Like even just the basic things of like how you want to live a life and whatnot. People are thinking like, oh, just going out, raving, grinding, doing what's it, a hedonistic lifestyle. It's like that shit's already been shown to be like unfulfilling as fuck. But then people are doing it and be like, yo, why am I still depressed? But that's it's a new generation, man. A new generation comes in, and they think they've received like the key. Oh, what the fuck is it called? The golden key to some hidden truth that nobody knew about. But again, they're just caught up in the same mix, which that's the reality of it. And with how those that bear rule, the heads, the rulers, the leaders of this current system, Esau's elites, these guys are open to and facilitate all those levels of destruction, because why it's to the things that they desire, that they want to gain from this place, from the system, establishing themselves for eternity. They're thinking like, yo, all that destruction can be utilized to bring about their desires. As such, it's but then this is the thing is the wicked was made for the day of evil. He's made for that destruction. He's made to destroy. He's made to confuse. But then what if there wasn't a cap put on it? It would just it would run away. There'd be nothing left. And that's how wild this place is. People are looking at it like, oh, this is the greatest nation on earth, the greatest place, the greatest time to be alive, blah blah blah. But then it's that's as far as what these guys are thinking in a hedonistic lifestyle. They're thinking all the pleasures they can consume, all the madness they can do. The thing is all those pleasures come with like a feedback, let's say, with a rebound, where it seems like, oh, everything blah blah blah, it's all blessed up blah, but then what happens in reality is it's all gonna feed back into you're still destroying yourself. Because says what Ezekiel 4:13, and the Lord Yahweh said, even thus shall the children of Israel eat their defiled bread among the Gentiles, whither I would drive them. And yeah, that defiled bread's part of it, man. All this food's been completely destroyed, completely decayed, GMO'd up, just fucked. And it's like the impact that's had on crops in general, on the earth, just on the soil in general, and the way people till globally, how all those minerals that once you'll get, and then there'll be like crop rotation, there'll be means like the what's it called, the land Sabbath and whatnot, to allow the earth to rejuvenate, to bring those rich minerals from further down in the earth, and then those those minerals being in different water sources as well, and that impacting going into people, and all these things have been completely destroyed. So it's like you look at the River Thames is a fucking brown murky mess, bro. It's like you could slit someone's throat and dash them in there, and you wouldn't even be able to tell, bro. that's how fucked it. Like the place is fucked, bro. It's completely a mess. But these are the things that now that it's of this era, of this time now, where it's just an expectation for these things to be fucked. And like I said, it's these things are impacting fertility, but then it's like the solution ain't to materialize a fucking a rod from nowhere, and then just have women just be like, okay, now we've got this rod that shoots sperm, go and use that temple. What the hell? Isaiah 3:12 says, as for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. O my people, they which lead thee cause thee to err and destroy the ways of thy paths. And yet children are oppressors and women rule over them. We're basically coming to this new age now where it's been co-signed for women to have power. It's been co-signed for children to run rampant, doing all forms of madness. They've introduced all these new forms of social media that basically make a feedback loop for the worst possible behaviors, especially for the younger generation. The younger generation's going around licking toilet seats, open out ice cream, licking it, putting it back, going and doing like what they call antisocial behaviors and whatnot, going around picking fights, running up in people's houses, stealing shit, robbing, shanking, all these things that they're doing. It's all been fed into, man. The same with women having dominion, even to their own destruction, to their own confusion, to where they're not even satisfied. But then that's again, it's all been co-signed by those that have the rule. 'Cause, it's an error that proceeded from the rulers, man. The rulers are the ones that basically have the say on these things. But then what's the reality? Isaiah 32:2, it says, "And a man shall be as a hiding place from the wind, and a covert from the tempest, as rivers of water in a dry place, as a shadow of a great rock in a weary land." So that's the thing, is when it comes to that hardship, that man's still going to be the hiding place. That man's going to be the covering. That man's going to be the shade. He's going to be the sustenance. Because as far as that's the role men have been playing, and it's really for those elect men. Because like it said in Mark, it was for the sake of the elect. That's why it was done. Those elect men are going to be those where there'll be that buffer, that protection. And that's that's the reality. It's the reason all these impacts are having on men is because what the men are going to be as women for these times, man. All these negative impacts hitting generally. That's all part of prophecy as well. But then it still means it's completely wicked. It's completely off. And it feeds into part of why this place is gonna be, got to be taken out of the way. We can't let it stick around this current rulership. It basically needs to change hands. And then Yahushua is gonna come and take it because it must needs be. And then even as we receive that, then us, also being, in this corrupt flesh, having engaged with this place, being all fucked up by the food. We gotta eat air, we gotta breathe the water, we gotta drink all these things. We'll get a refreshing. Because 1 Corinthians 15 and 51, it says, "Behold, I show you a mystery. We shall not all sleep, but we shall all be changed in a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trump. For the trumpet shall sound, and the dead shall be raised incorruptible, and we shall be changed. For this corruptible must put on incorruption, and this mortal must put on immortality." So when this corruptible hath put on incorruption, and this mortal hath put on immortality, then shall be brought to pass the saying that is written, "Death is swallowed up in victory." So yeah, this corrupt flesh is going to put on incorruption, man. We're going to have those bodies that are going to be perfected, where we're not going to, be slave to sin as we are now, where we're not going to be, corruptible, we're not going to be destructible as we are currently. We're basically going to be perfected. And that's a thing that we strive for, we desire heavily. Because why? It's as far as with, with our bodies now, it's like we seek to do, what's right. We're striving basically to, move righteously. But then what's the struggle we have, man? Fighting the flesh, the chains of darkness. "O death, where is thy sting? O grave, where is thy victory? The sting of death is sin, and the strength of sin is the law. But thanks to the Most High, which giveth us a victory for our Lord Yahushua." And yeah, it's basically through Yahushua. That's the only means that we have by which to overcome this. Even with, as we are now, where we still sin, we need, that grace, that covering from Yahushua, because otherwise then we're just liable. And if we're liable for our sins, there's no hope, because that's the whole point of there being a second covenant, is that liability is something we can't overcome. But then this whole system's been made to basically make it so that that sin is good. Actually, that's really what Esau's trying to do, man. Any kind of madness that he cooks up in the lab, it's like, oh, actually, no, this is better than what came before. Despite the fact, man can just lay with a woman and and have a good time, and then make a child that way. But yeah, I'll leave it there. Shalom. Shalom.